For the 19th-century New York politician, see Henry C. Connelly. Henry Connelly was governor of the New Mexico Territory during the American Civil War. He was appointed by President Lincoln and served from September 4, 1861 until July 6, 1866. During his term, the territory broke into two, and then three parts due to the Civil War and administrative problems. Early years. Connelly was born in Spencer County, Kentucky in 1800. In 1828, he received a medical degree from Transylvania University in Lexington, Kentucky. He practiced medicine and ran a store in Liberty, Missouri from 1820 until 1824, when he traveled the Santa Fe Trail from Independence, Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico with other merchants. During and following these years of travel and trading, he no longer practiced medicine, except in the case of an emergency. In 1828 he moved to Chihuahua, Mexico, where he lived until 1848, continuing to make business journeys to Missouri and New Orleans. He married a Mexican woman there in 1838, with whom he had 3 children. Sometime in the 1840s he moved to Peralta, about 17 miles south of the town of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Connelly participated in negotiations in Santa Fe between Governor Manuel Armijo and James W. Magoffin, preparing the way for Kearny's 1846 bloodless capture of Santa Fe during the Mexican-American War. New Mexico military rule. In 1849, after the death of his first wife, Connelly married Dolores Perea. Perea was the widow of Don Mariano Chavez, one of the governors of New Mexico while it was under the rule of Mexico. She was also the mother of Don Mariano's son, José Francisco Chavez, who served 3 terms in the United States House of Representatives as delegate from the New Mexico Territory, 1865 to 1871. In 1850 there was a failed attempt in New Mexico to attain statehood. Although there were strongly opposed political factions in New Mexico, most were united in opposing the existing military government, which utilized appointed rather than elected officials. The governor, Col. John Monroe, convened a constitutional assembly in May, which ratified a state constitution by 6,771 votes to 39. The Constitution was adopted on the 20th of June 1850, and state officers were elected. Henry Connelly, who was absent from New Mexico at the time, was elected governor and Manuel Alvarez lieutenant governor. However, Colonel Monroe forbade the assumption of civil power by the elected officials. The U.S. Senate passed the Compromise of 1850 bill on September 9, including an act to organize New Mexico as a territorial government, thus overriding the authority of the elected state legislature. New Mexico territorial government. Henry Connelly served consecutively as the representative for Bernalillo County in the New Mexico territorial legislature. As a member of 3rd 8th Assemblies, he was an associate in the incorporation of the New Mexican Railway Company in support for construction of a transcontinental railroad via the southern route through New Mexico in 1860. The book Doniphan's Expedition and the Conquest of New Mexico and California describes Connelly's presidential appointment as governor. The federal territorial officers and the United States Army officers in the territory had been appointed by President Buchanan. Under the influences which shaped his administration, they were in open sympathy with the Southern Confederacy. They had little doubt of their ability to take the territory over to the South. At the time of the first inauguration of President Lincoln, 2 men practically controlled the situation in New Mexico: Dr. Connelly and M.A. Otero, then territorial delegate in Congress. President Lincoln appointed Dr. Connelly governor. The administration of Governor Connelly was satisfactory to the people of New Mexico and to President Lincoln, and he was reappointed in 1864. Connelly was a main force behind the repeal of the New Mexico Slave Act in 1861. He was New Mexico Territorial Governor when General Sibley executed the New Mexico campaign of the American Civil War. During the Battle of Valverde, he was at Fort Craig, then moved the territorial capital from Santa Fe to Las Vegas, New Mexico prior to the Confederate occupation of Santa Fe. Connelly was in ill health during a large part of his administration. He was absent from office due to illness for about a half-year between the fall 1862 and the spring of 1863, during which Secretary William F. M. Arney acted as governor. He died of an opium overdose on August 12, 1866 in Santa Fe after leaving office, July 16, 1866. Genealogy. In the 1850 federal census for the territory of New Mexico, Bernalillo County, page 87, lines 25 to 32, we find him listed as the head of household with the following people listed in this home: Henry Connelly 49, Dalvis Connelly 35, Chavez, widow of Jose Chavez, Josefa Chavez 11, Bermufcha Chavez 8, Victoriana Chavez 1, Gregoria Chavez 35, Rosa Chavez 22, Franco Garcia 12,